Hello fellas and welcome to first review video of the Honda NX500. Is this the best A2 bike in this category? And is it really the all-around as people are talking? And is this the successor of very famous CB500X bike? Is it just rebranding, or Honda really added something new and it's worth buying? Let's find out. This bike has 471cc. They are advertising it as a 500. It has double discs, Nissan. Also, they try to take a little bit of look of Honda Africa Twin, which I actually like. This bike looks like a baby Africa Twin. In my opinion, first impression of the bike is it really looks premium. It looks great. The plastics are good, buttons, everything is just feeling really good. This final touch of the bike is amazing. It's just the Honda. When we're coming to the front of the bike, we actually have beautiful Honda logo with the windshield. The windshield is actually okay and helping a lot, but because I'm very tall, the wind is still hitting me in the head. So you should buy this like accessory to upgrade the windshield if you want to fully remove the wind from riding. Also, let's see, we have a beautiful LED lights. Let's see that. I mean, it's very sunny, so you might not be able to see it, but it's very good when riding at night. The width of the lights are very wide, which I like, and it helps at night riding it. I will put the video so you can see it better. Also, we have the blinkers. They're constantly blinking, and it is a Honda safety feature that really helps on the road so you can be more safer. And in my opinion, this is very, very good feature that Honda added to this bike. Front tire, like 19-inch. It is upgrade. I remember that old CB500X, like from 2019, had just 17-inch on the front. So this upgrade came from 2019, I think. And also, it really helps in the stability. It really helps on the off-road. It feels great. Maybe 21 would be perfect, but then we would lose some other stuff and it would not be that all around like this bike actually is. We have double braking disc Nissan. Brakings on this bike are amazing, man. Like, I really feel that brakes are crazy good and doing great job whenever I need them. So I would really say Honda did great with braking system here. I don't know, it has ABS also, as almost every new bike, but still good to have ABS. So yeah, let's see here, what do we have? Like, foot pegs are good. I like the foot pegs. They can be moved a little bit. Also, the rear brake doing good job. It feels, I would like that rear brake is a little bit stronger and that I can brake a little bit more with rear brake, but I don't know. It's just what it is. Exhaust looks really good. In my opinion, design of exhaust is just fine. Also, the rear brake is 17-inch and it's doing just good. Okay, let's see what we have here. We can turn on and off the traction control. We have that option. We have this small like joystick to control our screen, like TFT screen. Also, what I don't like here is that here we have like a blinker button under the siren, which I don't like. I like it to be above, but I'm still getting used to this feature. Okay, right here we have a kill switch. We can turn all four blinkers when we have like some emergency stop, and we just have starter. So very minimalistic, which I was looking in a bike actually. I didn't want the bike with like 100 options or on the on the steering. I just, that's not my type of the bike. I like it to be more minimalistic. And this is also one of the reasons I actually choose the Honda NX500. Very minimalistic, very easy, and very practical. Let's turn on the screen and let's see the options and what do we have here when how to control it. Like we can see the speed. We have the gear indicator, which is for me very important feature. I feel much better having it and knowing in which gear I am. Sometimes I forget during riding. You have the fuel consumption. It is, I don't know, one bad thing is that you cannot see the range, how long you can go with this fuel. You just have this graphic, but it is what it is. So definitely not bad. You can control it with this joystick. You can, like, you see here we have the settings. Let's see, what do we have in the settings. We have functions, we have trip auto reset, we have this his system protective, we have shift up, shift point, which we can change. Like here we have the shift point. We have display. We can choose the display type. As you can see, we have bar, circle, and simple. I prefer bar. In my opinion, looks much better. We can choose the brightness. We can choose auto. I always set it to auto. We have the background. I also set it to auto. I like the feature that when you get to some dark tunnel or something, the screen automatically changed to dark theme, which is cool. We have some favorite info we can choose, how it's going to be stored on the screen, which is great. We have some general info. We have also the Bluetooth pairing, which you can put the navigation and just see turn left, turn right, and those stuff. And you can listen to music and some other stuff. I didn't check out this, but I plan to check out this later in the future. So yeah, definitely we can check the maintenance parts, when to change something. We have equipment, but I don't have grip heaters, unfortunately. And we have some overall system information and stuff. I'm very tall person, and this is why I also choose the adventure bike, because I have very long legs and I don't feel comfortable on most of the bikes, but this bike is just good for me, really suits me good. And let's see how this bike looks on my 193 centimeters. Let's see, like seating, you're very up sitting, you're like very straight, you're not like on sports bike like this. I'm sitting like this. When I'm riding it, I don't feel any pain like in my hands, in my back. I just feel okay. After like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of riding, I feel like a bit my butt hurts. But this is what you get in basic, like how to say that, gear from Honda. So maybe some seat upgrade would give this bike even more touring possibilities. So definitely, like for some short rides, just fine. I don't feel anything. But if you ride longer than 3-4 hours, your butt starts to hurt a bit. So definitely, this is the only minus that I can see. But as you see, with 193, I can touch the ground easily. Maybe if you're like, I don't know, 183, you will still be able to comfortably touch the ground. But below 180, I think you might have problems maybe touching the ground. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But definitely for me, as you can see, I can touch the ground easily on the stop. Let's see. Like this also. I don't feel the weight of the bike. Like I can lean it a bit more. You see? Let me just remove the stand, and you see, I can still balance the bike pretty easy when I'm leaning it. But as I say, the weight of the bike is more upper, and you need to be more careful balancing the bike. But I never had feeling that I'm gonna drop the bike on stop or something. You see, I can hold the bike like this also very easy. Let's see on the other side. Maybe I have stronger right leg. Yeah, that's it. As you can see, like visually, bike in my opinion looks premium, looks clean, especially in this white color, and it's comfortable. It's really, really comfortable for some normal ride and even touring, but I would maybe upgrade this seat with something to be even more comfortable. Okay, so let's see the fuel consumption of this bike. It's also one of the best things if you want to travel and research and find out to and go to some new adventures. Like this bike has a fuel tank of 17 point, I don't know, don't hold me for the word, but like 17.2, 17.3 liters, but let's just say 17 liters. It has range in when I'm riding it. It has range up to 500 kilometers, and the fuel consumption is 3.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is impressive for such a big bike. Like I expect to have much higher fuel consumption, but it's just what it is. I really like this fuel consumption of the bike. It saves a lot of money when you're traveling. So yeah, the fuel consumption is really, really good. The overall power of this bike, it's very good in like already second gear. In some mid revs, it's going really good. I'd say also good in low revs. In some low speed maneuvers, also perfect. When we are riding it in some high revs, also good. So in general, I feel like that on mostly all speed bike is doing just fine. I don't see any lack of power, but as I said, maybe for some riders coming from higher cc, this bike would be too small and not fun. But from people coming from 125, this bike is gonna do perfect job. Now let's see, is this bike strong enough and is it fun to ride? As I say, if you're coming like me from 125, this bike is going to be really a monster on the road. Like, I really don't feel like I need more power than this bike actually has. As I said, I don't have problems keeping the speed on a highway or something. It's really, really good on a highway also, like going 130, 140 kilometers per hour. That's what this bike can do, and it can do it really, really good. Is this fun bike? For me, it is. As I said, maybe for somebody who's riding some much higher cc bikes, this bike will not be fun, but this is just my opinion coming from 125cc. Now, the question people, like I saw many discussions on internet regarding this, is this bike good on the off-road? This is like many people saying this bike is not for off-road, it's useless on the off-road. I don't know, I see many discussion people talking about this, but I have some videos on my YouTube channel where you can see this bike going like 60, 70 on a very muddy and dirty road. And I've been riding it off-road like already few times. And I feel like this bike is very good on the off-road. It is not, of course, like for some crazy trails, but on some light trails, muddy roads, even wet roads, and I don't know, some very bad surfaces like, I don't know, gravel or something, it can do the job. It can bring you, like if you want to go through the forest or on the grass or I don't know, whatever you prefer to ride off-road, this bike is actually really good. It is not like, I don't know, Tenere or something, but still it can get you where you want to go. So I'm happy with it off-road capabilities. Just I don't need more of the off-road. It has enough to satisfy the off-road I like to ride. Of course, bike is pretty agile for its weight. It has around, I don't know, a bit more than 200 with all the with all the liquids. It is, I don't know, if you are going from some lighter bike, it can be a bit heavy at the beginning, but it's easy to get used to it. And on the off-road, I definitely like this bike. This is some of my favorite part, that I can go on a highway with this bike, I can go on the off-road, and those parts are just doing the job for me. That's it. Let's see how this bike behaves in the city ride. Like, I would say, as people like to advertise this bike, it's very good all-around bike. As I said before, I talked, it is good on a highway, it is good on the off-road. It is not the best in any of those things, but it is just good enough so you can do it. In the city is also very, very practical bike. I feel like I'm riding a naked bike with this bike. So it's easy to ride it in the city, it's easy to turn, it's easy to go through the traffic. I do sometimes filtering with this bike when traffic jams are very, very big. So it can do filtering very good because it's a tall bike. The mirrors, the side mirrors are very tall, and it's taller than car, and you can do filtering very easy in the city. So it's easy to ride. Regarding vibrations on the bike, I see many people ask me in the comments in some previous videos, do I feel some vibrations on the bike, something that is not good? And so far, the only time I really felt the strong vibrations was on the foot pegs, when I was going like around 145 just to test the speed on the highway. I was going 145 and I started feeling like slightly vibrations on the foot pegs during this speed. So this is something I didn't like, but still I need to try it a little bit more and to ride it more on a highway. Like I rode this bike just a few times on a highway. I need a little bit more so I can talk more about the vibrations on the low speed. Like, I mean, on the lower gears, I didn't felt many strong vibrations or something to make me feel uncomfortable. Let's see at the end, for who is this bike? For who is this bike made? It's not for everybody, definitely, but this bike is definitely one of the best, if not the best, all-around bike in my opinion. It's not too strong, but it's not too like slow and boring. It can give you fun. I have a lot of fun on this bike, and it can bring you anywhere. This is definitely one thing. If you want to go for the adventure, this is definitely adventure bike, and it can definitely bring you wherever you want. You can use it for touring, you can use it for off-road, you can use it for the city, and I never feel like I have lack of power. This bike is for you if you search for practicality, if you search for low consumption but high speed for that consumption, if I can say it like that. And also, if you are looking for a comfortable bike that you can ride every day without back pain and other stuff, so definitely I would recommend this bike to you.